feel like they're playing a little more coverage, a little less pressure this year? They're just not giving up a lot of explosives relative to previous years.
No, they're just playing really good. I mean, again, the secondary guys have played a lot of snaps. I mean, they're just it's basically 4 down. A lot of one high safety, whether it's cover 1 or what I call cover 10, one hole, or some type. They are mixing in some zone concepts, but I mean they're really good defense. They get after you up front, and they can create some havoc, especially with those edge guys. But they're a ball control offense too. I think it all goes together. They kind of just the style of play. They don't make a lot of busts, not a lot of busts. Again, you can just that's why they're what are they like top 15 or something like that in the country. They've done a nice job, really good. So we got to play well. We got to execute with precision against these guys.
Are you preparing for multiple quarterbacks at all? I know Jeff Brohm is not explicitly committed to Moss as the starter as of yesterday.
I mean, they're not going to change their offense. They're going to do what they do. So we're just preparing for schematically who they are. They're very committed to run it. It don't matter who's back there, they're going to run that ball. You better stop the run. Somebody's handing that ball off. You better stop the run, especially when it comes to the stretch and getting cut backside, getting cut in half, and guys gashing you on the cutback. So that ain't going to change. And so that's where it starts. And they ran through us. I mean, it was embarrassing to watch last year.
If they get their running game going, how hard does that make it on your linebackers sort of getting sucked into the play action?
Linebackers and the safeties, all your run fitters. I mean, it's a challenge. That's why you've got to be able to minimize that. If they get a lot of comfort in the run game and they can play on schedule and be in those 3rd and 3 and 4s, you got a lot of it on your plate. So just what they do. So we got to have a great plan. We do, and we got to go execute it. But it starts, again, point of attack, being disruptive, understanding, what your problems are and how to attack them. A lot of conflict, and not just with it's just conflict on how they move, how they formation, how they motion, and create some challenges there. With your eye discipline. So they do a good job with it. I mean, they really do. A lot of play action, a lot of max pro where they're not releasing a lot of guys, so it looks really, really run, and then here's a shot, coming in behind it, creating space because your backers are downhill, and so you're creating some space. So, again, we got to do a good job coverage-wise, and then I think the other thing, too, you got to do a great job of changing things up. Because he's got a great feel for his offense. He's got a great feel for if this, then that. So you got to do a good job of not just giving him this. You gotta have some multiple ways to defend him.
Is David easy away? We haven't seen him as much. Obviously, seeing Randall and Gideon is just rotation-wise, not enough snaps, or things that David has to do to, something.
Just not enough snaps. I mean, it's just where we are. I mean, we'd like to get them all in there. I'd like to play them all, but we got to have. It's got to work out that way. But Gid is where he's at, and those two guys have gotten the majority of the snaps and got a good little rotation. But it's not anything against David. I think he's a great player and gonna have a lot of great days ahead, but he's a redshirt freshman, and it's just where we are right now.
Vic Burley popped up on the ACC availability report. It was probable, I guess. Did he get injured in practice, or was that kind of? What was that for him?
No, he's all right. He's okay.
You and Garrett talked for a good while about wanting to get Gideon more involved. Just given the last 2 games, how good he's looked. I guess what changed to really make that happen to get him in the game more consistently? And do you wish?
Yeah, just committing to. Well, first of all, he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it at practice, and then he's got to get it in the game and be comfortable. But going into the Duke game, we just hey, this is the rotation, and we just committed to the plays, not as much series. Because sometimes you can commit to a series, but it's a 3 and out. And this series went longer or whatever. So we just made it. Garrett just really committed to, hey, this is how we're going to make sure we want to rotate it. And then we had a great offensive day and really was able to get in some rhythm and created some confidence.
So what do you think's changed for Courtney Gibson? I know he had the ACL coming out of high school. Like, do you think that slowed him down last year? He's got to turn the corner.
Oh yeah, he couldn't play last year. I mean, he wasn't ready to play. I mean, he was coming off an ACL and he was just physically not really ready and mentally not ready. Not a lot of confidence. Just a redshirt freshman. I mean, that's he's just getting better. He's in the process. We forget that. That's the bad thing about the world we're in now is if these freshmen aren't like amazing as freshmen, we're immediately something's wrong with them. But they're just freshmen. There's very few Braden Jacobs. There ain't many of them. And if everybody is in here, Braden Jacobs, if every freshman shows up and they're all starting, well, you hadn't recruited very well and you hadn't developed very well. So guys, just it's a process. But I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. His confidence is growing, his knowledge is growing, his strength. I mean, everything is different for him than where he was last year. Yeah, he was a guy early on that we were like, yeah, he ain't playing. He ain't ready to play. It's going to be we just got to get him back where he's got a good foundation. Because he didn't play his senior year. He got hurt early. So it's really 2 years since he's played football. And, again, you just got to – there's a lot to it. And he's playing nickel. And you don't just run in there and play nickel. There's a lot to that position. It's a whole different world than playing corner. So he's just growing in his confidence and proud of him. But yeah, it's just like anybody, man. It's a process of development. We got a lot of players that are great examples of that on this roster. Ryan Linthicum, our center. I mean, how many snaps has he played the last 2 years? He didn't sniff the field for 3 years. But he had a guy named Will Putnam, who I think played almost 30 snaps for the Raiders this weekend. It's just sometimes it's just on you from a development standpoint, and then sometimes you just got to be a little patient because of who's there and who's in front of you.
What has happened with Jaylyn Lucas? Is he just not performing in practice, or
Just playing the guys that have earned it, that are playing the best. And, it's not anything to do with J. Lou. It's more what Strozer's done. Strozer has really made a move, and Ashton and AB are playing well for us. So I think Gip might have got a snap at corner. He might have maybe got in there a play or two at corner as well. But J. Lou's just got to stay ready and just nothing injury or anything like that. Just Mike just feels like that's the guys that's playing the best.
Seems like you played, I think it's something like a third of the snaps on Saturday. You had 3 defensive ends in the game. That number has seemed to increase. Is that something you guys have deployed more and more as you got into the season?
It's just package. It's just a package. It's based on how the game goes and situations in the game, down and distance, and then again, just down and distance, and then also field position or who they have in the game and what comes off of what they have in the game through your scouting report. That's what dictates those calls and our personnel.
Watching Cade battle through the ankle, the quad, how much has his toughness inspired the locker room this season?
He's got complete respect of this football team. He just battles. He's a warrior, man. You can just count on that. If Cade Klubnik can play, he's going to play. There's a lot of guys that wouldn't be playing, especially guys that know they're going to be going on to the NFL or whatever. Cade's got a bright future. He really does. He's had some tough games here. It hadn't gone quite like we wanted it to go. He's had some great moments too, but he's one guy. He's just one player. It's offense, defense, special teams. It takes a lot to win games, but he's a ball player and just getting better and better. And going to have a great future in the NFL. I mean, I think he's going to be a great pro. He's got all the arm talent. He just loves ball. Like, this guy was born to play football. Like, he was born to, like, get up, go to the football office, be there all day, and just play football. That's what he loves to do. He's always up here sitting in the meetings, watching tape. I mean, he just loves it. And he loves Clemson. He loves Clemson. He loves his teammates. So, yeah, he's a highly respected guy in the locker room, because certainly they know he's a talented player, but just his toughness and his commitment. He's just a relentless competitor.
Any other questions for Coach?
Talking about not telling Kathleen about the 2-point conversion. You're afraid she's got to tell everybody in town or something like that?
No, I just didn't. I mean, I don't. There's a lot I don't tell her. I just go home. I try not to bring work home. I try to just go home, and I don't really get much into game plan with Kath. It's probably a good thing.
A little bit of continuity on the offensive line. I think you started the same 5 guys for the first time in a while. How much has that helped, just having a little bit of consistency from that group?
A lot. And Braden's done a great job. He had a couple of miscues the other day. Just, we had one miss ID. He kind of thought it was an odd front, but it was really an even front, and it blocked down. That was the one sack right there. Just miscommunication. But he's doing a great job. But it definitely has been helpful. I mean, with Sadler up and down, Tristan's missed some games. Obviously losing Elijah Thurman, big loss for us. We've had some. It's been some challenges, and again, that's what makes Blake Miller so much more amazing. I mean, he's missed 2 practices in his entire Clemson career. 2 practices. That's it. Started every game since he was a true freshman, which is unbelievable. And then to miss 2 practices in your entire career, it's unheard of. And again, because we've had a lot of other challenges up and down here and there, moving around. Sadler left guard, right guard, left tackle, moving some people, but he's been steady. And then Walker Parks, man, he's been up and down, and I was so happy for Walker the other night, just because. I mean, I'd put him and Cade in that same category. Like, if Walker Parks, if there's any chance at all he could play, he plays. And he's not been anywhere near 100%, but he's as close to it right now as he's been in a while, and he really played good the other night, and it was just awesome. And he had a great play on a screen. He got out in the field in space, and just buried a guy. I mean, he plays gritty and tough, and he's just I love that kid, man. But we've just, like I said, it's been a mixed bag, but we've also been fortunate because we've had some depth to be able to keep rolling, and still have good players available. So that's been good.
Logan Brooking played a special team snap for you guys. Just the 3 games left in the season, will we see any other true freshmen kind of get some of those special team or any snaps to kind of get them game reps?
I mean, you might see Keenan, you might see Kari a little bit. Maybe he could pop in there somewhere. I mean, he's got all his games left. He's probably I think he's in the 2 deep. He's in a package or 2 defensively, and maybe some special teams. And Blanchard is probably another guy that could show up if we need him. He's kind of been ready to play all year, and we've been able to hold him. And then Brooking, we went ahead and just put him on special teams. We were holding him for the last 4 games. Man, he's going to be a good player. Juju maybe. He's a guy, depending on what happens, if we had somebody go down or something. Don't really see him like being on special teams unless it was like punt return. He's been, he works hard at that, and that's something probably in his future that you'll see him do. But the arrow is up by Juju. I mean, he's gained 15 to 17 pounds, and he's still just a beanpole. But I mean, he is on his way. and he's just got a smile on his face. I just think he's through the funk, and he's just kind of figuring it out that, you know what, hey, I can do this. He's explosive. He's been awesome on the scout team, and when we've been doing some scrimmaging the last few weeks, we've been doing some scrimmaging with the young guys and just keeping them, really football ready. And we've been trying to evaluate a lot of these guys and kind of see where they were. And he's been a bright spot. So I'm excited about him. But yeah, I don't see us getting to him unless, we had some injuries or something like that. But I do think he's heading in the right direction in all areas. He was heading in the wrong direction in all areas when he first got in here, and just maturity and just, I think the totality of where he was and the reality of what he was going to have to do really overwhelmed him, and he's kind of gotten through that. So I'm proud of him. Power hour's been great. He's bought into it, and he's bought into the nutrition, everything that he's got to do to accentuate his gifts, because he's gifted. I mean, he's a really gifted kid. And he's tough. He's tough. He is a tough-minded guy. So I'm excited about his future.
Still have a shot at bowl eligibility. And the talk has been in the past. It's always important because you get those extra practices. Yeah. In today's world, when you've got all this transfer portal stuff and people moving around and talk about the playoff and how that's the only thing people care about, does it still, in your mind, have that weight of, man, yes, I still would love to have those extra, times to see these kids? Absolutely.
There's no coach going to say no to that. I mean, if they do, they're probably not a very good coach. I mean, anytime you can play football, you're a football coach, anytime you can go play football, that's a good thing. That's what you do. How do you get better at football if you don't play football? So I would never turn down the opportunities. Now, I know there's been some cases where teams hadn't had enough players, and that's a different conversation. But, yeah, you got an opportunity to go play. Man, this team I guarantee you these guys, they want to go play another game because they care about each other. They really do. These guys love each other. They're going to be very sad when they can't, share a locker room together. And we've got an incredible, one of the best, longest bowl eligibility streaks out there. Been going a long, long time before I got here. There's a lot of pride in that too, but hey, you got to go earn it. And we got 3 more games, and we got to find a way to get it done. But they definitely would want to go play again, and it'd be great. There's a lot of young talent on this team that could really use some bowl type. It's basically you get another spring practice is basically what you get.
Talk about Cade playing better. He's over 73%, I think, his last 4 games with 1 turnover, I think. Have you seen something a little different? Is it more about receivers making plays for him? Because he was already okay, but the elevation of his game the last month it pops.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, he didn't play well in the LSU game. That's well documented. And he really, since then, he turned it over twice at Georgia Tech. But he didn't play bad. Those were costly plays, but he really kind of picked it up. And then Syracuse game, he did some good things. Just kind of has been pretty steady, on the football side. We had some tough games. The Duke game, he was amazing. He played great at North Carolina, played good at Boston College. It's kind of gotten overshadowed because we hadn't won some of the games, but he, like I said, he can only do his part. But I just think just him being who he is, resetting, I think he was just pressing a little early in the season, and I think he just kind of got through that, and he's just being Cade, just doing his job. And he's just doing his job. He's just having fun playing football, and he's being smart with the ball. So I've been proud of him. But, yeah, receivers honestly have been good all year. That's been one of the bright spots. I'd put them in the category as our punter. The receiver, they've been good all year. And, you know, we've had a couple. We had, you know, obviously we had the big drop. Probably could have put the game away with Wesco there at Georgia Tech. That probably could have ended it. That was an easy play. You know, we've had a couple of those, but all in all, that I would say the tight ends and the receivers have been a real bright spot for our team. They've been very steady, very consistent all year, and you know, so I'd say the same thing about you know, Adam Randall. Well, hello there.
I got a question in the back.
Oh boy.
Who would you say is the best holder you've had this last decade?
Oh boy. Well, I don't know, but they all have had a great mom. That's what I would say. That's a tough question. That's a tough question. They've all been great. They've all been great. Seth Ryan. Yeah, Seth Ryan was amazing. He was amazing. He's now the receivers coach for the Lions. Seth is great. Anyway, I don't even remember what we were talking about. I was just talking about, you were asking about Cade receivers. Yeah, I think the receivers have been pretty steady all year. Moment here or there, but they've been a bright spot. Tight end's been a bright spot, very consistent. I think Adam's been he's really helped himself. He's had a good year, man. He's done some good stuff. And now, obviously, Gideon coming along. I feel good about that room.
Take one more for Coach if anybody has one.
Cade moving around is obviously a big part of y'all's offense. With the ankle, the quad contusion, how do you feel like his slightly limited mobility has changed stuff, and how could that change stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he's still doing okay. You know, I mean, we just are hanging in there. I mean, he had the one play. I mean, he got out of the pocket a couple good times, and I mean, he obviously ran for a touchdown on a pass call, and he just recognized the coverage, and it opened up, and he walked it in. But he got out on the left side. That he actually had Bentoncourt, but he didn't. You know, if he hits him, fine. But I really wish he'd have just kind of kept running right there. He probably would have gone a good ways, but he's getting better. I mean, he can do what he needs to do. There's not many people 100% this time of year, but he can still do it.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have something, Larry?
Yeah, I was going to ask how much the defensive line is hearing about what happened last year against Louisville when they set the edge.
Well, I don't read nothing, but I'm sure y'all are all reminding them, so I'm sure they hear it a lot. Oh, for me? Oh, yeah, no, they watch the tape, so they don't need to hear it. They watched it. I mean, they rushed for 8 yards carry on us, so they lived it. There's a bunch of them that were here, so they know. We ain't got to spend a lot of time talking about last year. That's one area too. We've done a much better job at our rush defense. We've been a lot better. We were horrible. That has been a much improved part of our defense. So been pleased with that.